Let's talk about the win-win approach in conflict resolution today. We all know about compromise, and sometimes that gets confused with the win-win approach. So compromise is used for when the benefit cannot get any bigger and everyone can have a share of what is available. But it can also mean that one party gives up more than the other and therefore is not really committed to the solution. So all of the needs of the involved parties weren't really considered and or satisfied, really. So the win-win approach uses the needs first and solutions later method. So the first step of the win-win approach is start asking questions. And then we identify the needs and concerns of everyone involved. So everyone gets to say, and every need of the party is considered. That might mean that we have to create new options, but we're certainly doing it together, and we create partners and not opponents. So the basic principles of the win-win approach are the considering what you want and what the other person wants. So then we acknowledge your needs and the other person's needs. This way, we are totally respecting the relationship. So we have the belief that for you to win, it's not necessary for someone else to lose. So we always think if we win, someone loses. But the win-win approach, everyone wins. And then basically the focus is also with what is fair. So we really hone into that when we use the win-win approach. And sometimes that means we need to be creative and flexible to consider all possible solutions to meet everyone's needs. And this might not be easy, but that's the focus. So maybe if we're moving towards a solution that satisfies as many needs as possible. So the reasons for using a win-win approach are actually to really reduce the stress and the distress and hurt that these conflicts sometimes carry. It also empowers because rather than abuse, the situation, we're focusing the energy on solving problems rather than fighting with each other. Often it's just like, oh, we're so wound up and angry that we lose the focus and just want to fight. But yeah, basically, if we focus on solving the problem rather than, hurling insults, the outcome is much better. So really, the win-win approach sort of encourages a commitment to a solution from both sides of the conflict. And that can also increase productivity. And it definitely encourages creativity of finding a solution that helps everyone, and everyone can be optimistic about that. So it's also required really though then that we persist and rethink the issue. And that might have to happen several times. So it's a process rather than a quick fix. The key features of that win-win approach are definitely, sort of focusing on all needs. Have all needs been considered? We concentrate on the approach, not the outcome. So win-win solutions are not always possible, but we maintain the respect for all parties and the willingness to fix the problem. And so we focus on the issue. It's sort of like, let's just be hard on the issue, but easy on the person. And we are addressing the needs and we discuss the concerns. And then we also take a broader perspective. What are the long-term and short-term consequences of win or lose? What are the advantages of win-win? What are the options that give everyone more of what they need? And then maybe can we redefine what constitutes a win? That's also up for discussion. And another key feature is make it easy to say yes. we offer options that are of high value and also are possible to give. So we listen to and acknowledge each person's needs, and maybe that changes during the discussion anyway. And we always support what is just and fair. So we're resisting the greed and the injustice, and we obviously avoid infringing on each other's rights. And as mentioned before, we are persistent. We adopt a long-term view and always maintain the dialogue with one another. So this is kind of like, cooperating and strengthening the approach to a fair resolution rather than, weakening the other party's arguments. So it's like, well, my case is more valid than yours for whatever reason. That's not an approach that works with win-win. That's in a courthouse. But yeah, so really it's like a cooperation, and all the relevant parties have participated in the process. So it's really like, this is sort of like an approach where we change our perspective toward conflict, and it kind of makes conflict an opportunity to resolve a situation with empathy and, actively listening to other people's needs and using a win-win approach. I hope you found this helpful, and thank you for listening.